all stand up. Let's all, come on, let's get into it. All right. Confident of knowing whether if you come to stay a while, you're just passing through this door. It's open to you. Come, let's be silent. Come, let's share. Come, let's play together. Come, love and be loved. From the mist out to the turns out. From the perfect to the abused. This door is open to you. Sing it loud. Come in. Come on.
Welcome to all of you here in the sanctuary, and welcome to all of you on Facebook Live, now and in the future. We are so happy you are here. New friends and old friends returning for a short visit. I am Mary Russell, one of the practitioners here at the center, and it is my pleasure to be the host for today. Our Reverend Charlie is off having some nice relaxing time with the family, so enjoy yourself, Reverend, and see you next week. So the Center for Spiritual Living, Temecula Valley, is an inclusive, welcoming, spiritual community. We realize that everything in life is spiritual, and that we are connected and supported by the presence and power we call God. So if you are black, white, gay, straight, or anything in between, I don't know about you, but I got all of that in my family, you are welcome here. I know this for sure. What I know for sure is that in all these variations, there is only one race. It's called the human race. Yeah. Amen. So if this is your first time, welcome here. And this is your time returning after that long COVID-19 experience, welcome back. And know that there's a book out in the breezeway, of course, that says sign up and they'll send you an email once a week to let you know what's going on at the center here. So we invite you all to do that. Just know that we are so happy that you are here with us this morning. And so now we're going to quiet down, Mary, take a breath, okay? And we're going to gong the bells, and we are going to have our invocation with our practitioner of the day, Jim Willis. And if any of you were lucky enough to be here for the meditation, you certainly enjoyed yourself. So, okay, let's keep going.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Today's reading comes from the book, The Science of Mind, written by our founder, Ernest Holmes. In the glossary, he defines this thing called light. It's my pleasure to read this to you now. In flashes of illumination, the inspired have seen into the very center of reality, and have brought back with them a distinct impression of what they have seen and felt. A glimpse of this reality illuminates the whole being with a flood of light. Every mystic has had this experience. Jesus was the greatest of all mystics, and once at least, after a period of illumination, his face was so brilliant his followers could not look upon it. In moments of deepest realization, the great mystics have sensed that one life flows through all, and that all are some part of that life. I have also seen substance, a fine, white, brilliant stuff, forever fallen into everything, a substance indestructible and eternal. At times, the realization has been so complete that they have been actually blinded by the light. Light was the first great revelation of design, creative energy that called all living things into being. Let there be light, and there was light. There is healing light in the rays of the sun, which we term a physical light. There is a healing power in the wonderful high-powered lamps. But how much greater is the healing power which Jesus recognized in himself and in others? I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. I have set thee to be a light. He that loveth his brother abideth in the light. The sons of God without rebuke, ye shine as lights in the world. I'm supposed to do the invocation. Anyway, so much for that script. So anyway, let's all come together, and I ask you to go within. Take a deep breath. For I do know that there is one power, one light, one presence, one creator, one divine experience, intelligence, one all and everything, which I call God. For it is that power which has created all that there is. It is that same power which knows how to maintain and sustain all and everything. There is that one presence which is surely the life, the light, and the love of God flowing in, around, and through each and every one of us. And I know that the one is created and has all the divine qualities of God, of freedom and justice and life and light and love and peace and joy, happiness, harmony, balance, beauty, divine wisdom, wholeness, perfect health and abundance in all and everything. And I know that I, being spiritually created in the image and likeness of the one, that I too am endowed with all those same divine qualities, for it is my birthright. And as I know this to be true for myself, I absolutely know this to be true for each and every one of us, right here and right now. And what I know and declare is that today's service flows with grace and ease. That the talk that you will hear from practitioner Beth Haas inspires and illumines each and every one of us. And the music provided by Joanna and the rest of the musical team is just absolutely beautiful. So I call it all good because it is all God and God is goodness itself. And I simply allow it to be, and so it is. Amen.
We got our little song? Yeah.
I got a little song.
It's for everyone.
That's right. This is our community chant here. All right. It's going to be I Am the Light. I know you know this. I know you know this.
The word should be up here, I think I know. Not today.
So it's going to be I am, and you are, and we are. And then you're going to hear all that, okay?
I am the light of this world. I am
You are the light. You are the light. You are the light in this world. You are the light. You are the light. You are the light in this world. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine so bright. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine so bright. We are the light. We are the light. We are the light in this world. We are the light. We are the light. We are the light in this world. And we shine. And we shine. And we shine so bright. And we shine. And we shine. And we shine so bright. We don't need no stinking lyrics.
Well, thank you. We are so blessed to have this crew here, are we not? Hallelujah. Hey, this is a moment of gratitude. You know, we started this practice, I don't know, a couple of years ago. And actually, that's how you learn things, isn't it? If you were going to play the piano, you wouldn't just sit down and play, who are those musicians? I don't know, Liberace? I don't know. Sit down and sound like you would practice. Every day you would do 20 minutes or so, and you would practice, and at the end of the year, you would be good. That's the same with spiritual practices. So this spiritual practice of practicing gratitude is, I've been doing it now consistently for about the 2 years we started this, and I find myself every day being more grateful for just little things. So we're going to have this little practice right now. So I'm going to invite you to just close your eyes, take a nice slow breath, and just invite some stillness into your being. And just look over the past week. Was there just something, just some little thing? It doesn't have to be monumental. It could be somebody bought you a cup of coffee. Or you tripped and you resurrected yourself and you didn't kill yourself falling down. Anything, some little thing that you're grateful for. Just bring it up. Just include those feelings into your very being now. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit, that I'm alive and awake and grateful. And every day in every way, I am more grateful because what we focus on grows, and we want our things to be grateful for to grow. You can do this anytime during the week. No one has to know you're doing it. You can do it at the coffee shop, at the beach. It's all good. Gratitude is a magnificent happening. So come on back here now. And where are we? Well, that was the reading. Jim already did it. Imagine that. So we have our wonderful music back again. Here we come with Joanna and Mike and Jim. Okay, what's the name of your song, beautiful?
So the song is Ray of Light.
Ray of Light, how appropriate. Now shut it off. Thank you.
Thank you. So it's our theme this month is about light and everything. It got me thinking. So I was listening to different songs. So scientifically speaking, stars develop their twinkle as the ray of light journeys through space into the Earth's atmospheric obstacles, turbulence, scintillation, is that what I'm saying that right? And climate, and finally reaching your eyes. So we perceive them as twinkling. And then I heard this song and I thought, that light travels so far, right? What is it like to be that light? So this is where this kind of song came in. It's a bit, chaotic-ish and it feels good.
one. And I feel like I just got home, and I feel, and I feel like I just got home, and I feel faster than the speed of light. She's flying, trying to remember where it all began. She's got herself a little piece of heaven, waiting for the time when earth shall be as one. And I feel like I just got home, and I feel like I just got home, and she's got herself a universe gone quickly for the calm of thunder threatens everyone.
Listen, I would like to give you a bio on all these people. They are so freaking talented, it's amazing. They are everywhere, so we appreciate you. Thank you very much. Hey, and now it's my great pleasure to introduce our speaker today, and she better sit down till I say a few words. You're rushing up here. You didn't want your bio, but, you know, she's known as a teacher of teachers around here, and that is so very true. But what she was, because she was my teacher, my entire practitioner training, she was my teacher. But also she was, you ever hear that song, The Wind Beneath My Wings? Yeah, that's this lady. She's right there, helping you out, never stealing any glory. It's unbelievable. Even today she's doing it as we get through this day. But anyway, without further ado, I want to introduce my very special friend, Beth Haas. Thank
That's one of those, I have to follow that. So we are without slides, and of course, trying not to take that personally. So I printed them, because it does happen, it seems to happen a lot when I'm up. That's okay. So I'm getting ready here. I printed them, so I thought we will do the old school. I'll hold the slide. And those in the back, you may not see them. We can pass them around and really go back to So thank you for your trust in coming today and allowing me to give the talk. I was just saying to Anne before, I'd like to get past this nervousness. This is maybe the third or fourth time I've done this, and it's better. It's not perfect. I don't know that that's a good thing to get to stage blasé, where I'm like, yeah, another talk. But I will start by mentioning, ironic, I love the playfulness of the universe. And so last night I ran through my talk again so I could marinate while I was sleeping. And set the alarm for 7, got in bed, did what I do to go to sleep, and something shifted in the room. And what? And I opened my eyes. The power has now gone out in the city of Oceanside, which is where I live. And so I'm in the dark with a flashlight. The night before, light and dark talk with a flashlight, finding my travel alarm, setting up my travel alarm so that I don't oversleep. So I went, well played, universe. Okay, so slide number 1. And you might recognize this, and if you can, share it with your neighbor if they're like at the very back and can't quite see it. This is a symbol of yin and yang. Okay? It is because this month's theme for the Centers for Spiritual Living is on light and shadow. And so I decided for today, the spiritual principle to kind of build things around is balance. And to me, nothing represents balance more than, let me do it like so, how's that? So the balance, if you notice, they're light and dark, and then there's a spot of each in the other. And I think that's significant. So there's nothing all dark, and there's nothing all light. That's balance. And so the principle that I'm using today is around balance. And the theme is on light and shadow. Okay, so I want to start with a little story. My sister Pat, who was here 2 months ago, had begun this center and then decided that she couldn't handle the heat of Temecula and went to Calgary, Canada. But prior to that, and still, when she comes down, we do spend a lot of our time out in Joshua Tree. It's a national park. It's just a place. It's a heart space. It's just a place that we go. And we always, from the beginning of being adults together, talk about all things spiritual. So we had been up in Joshua Tree at night watching the stars, which are incredible, and because there's very little ambient light, and watching the stars and having those kinds of moving experiences. And then we were back up in Joshua Tree the next morning, hiking around, and I said to her, you know, those stars are up there right now. And Pat, in her wisdom minister way, goes, nuh-uh. And I said, no, really, the stars are always up there. And then what followed was kind of a spiritual discussion, which is what we would do about, just because it's invisible doesn't mean that it's not there. And so we had one of those kind of deep spiritual talks among the nuh-uhs that we would do as sisters. And so that came to me when I was thinking about this talk, because the title, which also is unavailable, but I'm going to hold it up because it's the coolest picture and it's relevant, so hopefully it'll translate. The title of my talk is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And if you can see the picture, there's this little girl standing looking up at a night star, a planet, or whatnot. So the title of the talk is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, I Am Wondering Who I Am. That's the part that I added. So the talk from the home office is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And it made me think about saying to Pat, you know, the stars are always up there, and Pat saying, nuh-uh, and we followed from there. So for today, I'm going to invite you to make room in your seat for your young one that lives inside of you. So you don't have to physically scooch, but just energetically make room to share your seat with that young you, which we often forget about because as adults we get a little caught up in the world of effects. Remember what it was like back then. That sense of awe that you had when you look at the night sky. Just remember what that felt like to be so connected to that vastness that it moved a sense of awe as opposed to kind of the more adult thoughts. So Ernest Holmes, founder of Science of Mind, religious science, has a quote that says, each of us should seek that beam of light within and follow it to the great light, the light that is in everything. We must acquiesce to it and surrender all that has made us unhappy, all that has isolated us from it. Only then can God fully pronounce through us and in us and personalize as us. So take a moment, find that light within. It's always there, it's undiluted. It's always present. It radiates from within. You're seeing it today. We're having fun. With the glitches and the hiccups, it's the light within. And when we surrender to it, then God personalizes as us. And so thinking about balance, light and shadow. We are here to experience all aspects of life, from bliss and joy to grief and sorrow. This is how God, Spirit, experiences life by means of us. This is the gift we give ourselves and each other, to not protect ourselves from feeling the negatives, the dark, the sadness, the frustration, but to experience all of it in understanding that that is the balance that we are given as a gift to experience. Last week, Charlene talked about the roller coaster. Life is a roller coaster, ups and downs. So there is the remembering, and our small one, our young one remembers this. In our darkness, in the shadow, we can be a gift for another. So sometimes we're here to show another how to navigate. There's a quote by Rumi. I'm not going to hold it up because it was just a printed one. Rumi says, if everything around you seems dark, look again. You may be the light. So sometimes we're there for another. In our moments, our difficult times, we're there for another. Going through those dark nights of the soul, and I think everyone in here has some. There may be someone, and there may have been in the past, and there certainly will be going forward. There may be someone who is watching and learning how to walk through their valley of the shadow of death. From us, we are the teacher. We are the gift in their life at that moment. We are the teacher to their student, just as others have been for us when we needed it. So take a moment and think about balance. Sometimes we're the teacher, sometimes we're the student. But the balance in that is that both are there. And when we are the teacher, we can be a gift. Your young child remembers that balance, even though as adults it's a little bit out of often. Remember, the stars are still out in the daytime. We can be scared and brave at the same time. So again, and this was in our Nate and I had worked we had choreographed all the slides, so again, I'm just going to hold this up as a reminder. I'd like you to look at this again. You can look at it like this. You can look at it like this. You can do it like so. It's balanced no matter which way it's turned, right? Light and dark coexist together. Notice how they cradle each other in support. There isn't one without the other. This is wholeness. Fear and faith. Feminine and masculine. Darkness and light. Anger and peace. Joy and pain. It's not either this or that. It is this and that. That is what balance is. Light and dark. Supporting each other. And in the picture, there's a bit of light in the darkness. There's a bit of darkness in the light. This is the intelligence that we live in and from. So the young child that's sitting next to you knew this balance, fear and faith, anger and peace, joy and pain. It knew this. They knew this. We all, more than likely, had an imaginary friend at some time that we used in ways to kind of be able to have that sense of a connection to someone that we didn't have to explain ourselves to. The imaginary friend, I believe, was spirit. We were so close when we came along. The spirit, maybe it took the form of a person, or it might have been an animal or an imaginary animal. That was spirit. closer than we understood. So we can know that sense of balance and connection to all things by remembering what it was like when we were children and understanding we took it all and we found a way in the moment. So there's another quote by Ernest Holmes. We should daily train our thought to recognize the Spirit in everything we do, say, or think. A constant realization of the presence of Spirit will provide a sense of divine companionship that no other attitude could produce. So our child knew that divine companionship was something that we brought with us into this experience. And in doing so, we maintained a sense of balance that we sort of began to move away from as life showed up and taught us other lessons. So when you remember that young child, you can remember the awe, the innocence, the wide-eyed wonder, when you would look at the night sky and know you were not alone. Remember the balance of harmony in life. Sometimes you are the student here to learn. Sometimes you are the teacher for another here to show. That's balance. Find my notes. Stand up. So I'd like to tell you a story. We're talking about the children. The little kid goes, oh, a story. Takes place in Greece, on the island of Crete. In Greece, on the island of Crete, it's a Greek Orthodox monastery. Beside it, on land donated by the monastery, is an institute dedicated to human understanding and peace. The site is important because it overlooks the small airstrip where Nazi paratroopers invaded Crete and were attacked by peasants wielding kitchen knives and farm implements. The revenge was terrible. At the end of the war, hate was the only weapon the Cretans had. And it is in this setting of hatred and bitterness that there is an institute devoted to healing the wounds of war. It came to be here because of a man named Alexander Papaderos, a doctor of philosophy, teacher, politician, and resident of Athens, but a son of Crete. At war's end, he came to believe that the Germans and Cretans had much to give one another, that they had an example to set. If they could forgive each other and construct a creative, positive relationship, then any people could. And Papaderos succeeded. His institute became a conference ground for peace and compassion on the site of horror. This is a story about Alexander Papaderos. On the last afternoon of a seminar at his institute, Papaderos himself came to the platform and simply asked if there were any questions. There was absolute silence until one man half-jokingly asked, "What is the meaning of life?" People laughed and stirred to go. When Papaderos said he would answer that question, he took his wallet out of his pocket and fished out a small round mirror about the size of a quarter. And here's what he said. When I was a small child, during the war, we were very poor, and we lived in a remote village. One day on the road, I found the broken pieces of a mirror. A German motorcycle had been wrecked in that place. I tried to find all the pieces and put them together, but it was impossible. So I kept only the largest piece, this one, and by scratching it on a stone, I made it round. I began to play with it as a toy and became fascinated by the fact that I could reflect light into dark places where the sun would never shine, in deep holes and crevices and dark closets. It became a game for me to get light into the most inaccessible places I could find. I kept the little mirror, and as I went about my growing up, I would take it out in idle moments and continue the challenge of the game. As I became a man, I grew to understand that this was not just a child's game, but a metaphor for what I might do with my life. I came to understand that I am not the light or the source of light, but light, truth, understanding, knowledge is there, and it will only shine in many places if I reflect it. I am a fragment of a mirror whose whole design and shape I do not know. Nevertheless, with what I have, I can reflect light into the dark places of this world, into the black places in the hearts of men, and change some things in some people. Perhaps others may see and do likewise. This is what I am about. This is the meaning of my life. And then he took his small mirror and caught the bright rays of daylight streaming through a window and reflected them onto the faces and hands of the people in the audience. That is what we're here to do.
Wow.
So, as teachers to others, that's a gift. We're given and we give. And sometimes we forget who we are. Sometimes it takes remembering who we are in our journey. We are at Ram Dass, we are all just walking each other home. And when we remember that, then we can remember who we are and what we're here to do. So I'd like to leave you with this. I found this to be very touching, and it was a wonderful reminder when I get a little caught up in my own world of effects. And it comes from the source of all things spiritual, Facebook, of course. It is the source. I go to Facebook, I need something here. This came up and I went, thank you, that's what I needed. So this is entitled Compassionate Reminders. Remember, someone still giggles when they think of that funny thing you said. Remember, someone still smiles when they think of the compliment you gave them. Remember, someone silently admires you. Remember, the advice you give has made a difference for people. Remember, the support and love you have offered others has made someone's day. Remember, your input and opinions have made someone think twice. Remember, you are not insignificant and forgotten. Your existence makes a positive difference, whether you see it or not. And so in closing, I'm going to leave you with a song word. And if I had I'm going to show it to you so you know it was prepared. Let me find it. All right. This is a songworm, and you'll thank me for it later when it keeps running through. You know what a songworm, it just keeps coming back at the least convenient times. These are the words, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. All right? I'm not going to sing it. I know myself. Remember who I am. However, just the words alone are so powerful, just like what Joanna shared with us before, that the twinkling of lights has science behind it, but it also has a magic to it. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. I wish I may, I wish I might, have the wish I wish tonight. And so this is what we'll go forward with this for this week. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, I remember who I am. And with that, I'm going to invite our musicians back up. Thank you.
Thank you. Marvelous, marvelous, marvelous. Thank you.
Yes.
So, this week, Mother's Day, and in the middle of the week, I was at Disneyland, which is the magical place. Yeah. And I contemplated whether we should do the song or not, and it fit perfectly as Beth has confirmed to me earlier today. So this is When You Wish Upon a Star.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are, and anything your heart desires will come to you. If your heart is in your dream, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star, as dreamers do. And when you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. And if your heart is in your dream, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star, as dreamers do. Like a bolt about the blue, fate steps in to see you through. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come
Fantastic. My next life, I'm going to be a singer just like you. Yay! Can't sing it. Nope, now, but next month. Okay, where are we at? We are at our sacred giving. You know all about that because that's how we exist, because you share your talents, your treasures, and your finances with us, and that's how it works. So let me find my paper that is written out, because if it isn't written out, I can hardly say it. Oh, Beth, I found the yin and yang. Yay! Oh, I found some wood things. I might keep these. These are good. Yay! Okay, sacred giving. I would like to call up the ushers. Would they come forward, please? Thank you, Vern and Nancy. And indeed, thank all the volunteers here. You know, they say it takes a village to raise a child, but it takes the whole community to raise this up and lift it up. So we invite all of you to volunteer, whatever you like to do. Read the announcements like Mike's going to do later, or to be an usher, or to bring food on Sunday. It takes a village, so we invite you all. Don't feel left out. You're number one with us. And know that it is through your financial support that CSL TV can continue to offer services to inspire and support all of us in living a fuller life. We are grateful for your generosity in this community, and we know that we are joined in commitment to bring the vision of CSL TV, being a light in the valley and the world, and all those who can be supported and healed by this message. And for our online viewers, you know what you can do. You can go to the donate button. You can send it in snail mail. And unfortunately, I don't have one of those watches like that wonderful Reverend has. But hey, maybe some of you do, and you can do it. You can light up her life right now. Or you could send us in snail mail. Did I already say that? Okay. Okay. Join me in knowing that this offering is a gift from God. We are each a channel of giving and receiving, and as we give, prosperity and abundance flows back to us. I know that this offering multiplies and expands and supports CSL TV in fully experiencing God's love in all ways. I release and let go, and so it is. And would you please join me in the affirmation? And you don't have it, but I'll say it. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. God gives me everything I need, so I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Joy is my source, joy is my power, joy gives me everything that I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. This is the hardest job, turning this thing on and off. Especially me. And now we have announcements, and we have that young man, Mike Long. Yay, Mike, come on up here and give us the announcements.
Thank you very much. And good morning, Center for Spiritual Living, Temecula Valley. We do have some announcements for you. Still available for sale in Suite B, Succulent Arrangements by Barb Murray, Painted Rocks by Jody Hendricks, and Painted Mandalas by Lauren Crothwaite. Arrangements and rocks can be made to order. Proceeds benefit the Center for Spiritual Living, Temecula Valley, and its business. Next, in our Wisdom Teaching Summer Series, I would like to invite practitioner Jamie Curry up to the platform to speak about this.
Wow. We have this incredible teacher who has taught us compassion, who has taught us how to listen, and I get to share some of that wisdom with you. Today, 15 minutes after service, we're meeting in Suite B. It'll be about 45 minutes. We're going to talk about how to enrich our lives with that blessed gift of compassion and the more sacred gift of listening to ourselves, that self-talk, and what others have to say too. Thank you, Beth.
Yes, thank you, Beth.
And we also have some very active groups here at the center. We have Gifts of Spirit, meets on the second Monday of each month. We have the Band of Brothers Men's Ministry, meets weekly. Sisters in Spirit Women's Ministry meets on the third Thursday of the month. Excuse me. Our book club meets every Wednesday, and we have our pickleball club. We also have hiking, meets on the third Saturday of each month. And for more information on each club and who to contact for information, see the Center for Spiritual Living website and the weekly email newsletter. Next, our teen camp is open for registration. The event theme is Keep Dreaming Forward. The event dates are Saturday, July 8th, Saturday through Saturday, July 15th. And the event location is at the Camp Cedar Ridge, the new CSL's campground in Oregon. The registration fee is $525. Registration closes June 3rd. Contact Ted Blake for more information. And last but not least is a 3-day cruise in April and May. So the sign-up sheet for that is in the breezeway. And that concludes our announcements.
I never knew we had a cruise.
It's new to me too. Well, we'll have to check that out.
Yeah,
That's your job.
I think so.
Okay. Hey, you know what time it is? It's time for our closing prayer. And I like spontaneous prayers. I can get lost in fact, I got lost in the meditation. I got lost in the talk about that story from the Greek island. Good Lord, that is really something. And I also found this wonderful prayer in the Science Mind magazine that speaks directly to what the subject is this week, darkness and shadow and light. So I would invite you to just relax, close your eyes, and hear these words as if you are saying them to yourself. Okay? I don't hear you breathing. Light within the shadow is the name of the prayer. I invite all aspects of my shadow into my whole expression. There is one power, one presence, one glorious love. It is effervescent, brilliant, and beautiful, and it is always availing itself to, through, and as me. This one seeks to have its way with me, and I open my heart and invite it in. And here in this moment, we are in divine relationship. This one has infinite access to me because it is as close as my breath, as near as my hands and feet. This relationship paves the way for healing, revealing, and total integration of my human self to the self that is God ordained. This happens in the most potent and powerful ways possible. On this day, I invite all facets of my being that I have created out of the need to survive to move in closer to my heart. I declare that every single aspect of my shadow is waking up and remembering the beauty sheathed within the shadow. I call forth my shadow so that we, my shadow and I, may also live in a beautiful and divine relationship. I cease criticizing my shadow, and I cease making myself wrong because of it. No longer will I judge my aspect of myself, any aspect of myself. I remain committed to accepting, loving, forgiving, and integrating all parts of who I am. Oh, glorious one, I bask in the beauty of love which is constantly present, and I celebrate all parts of me as I label them good and very good. Spirit responds with an overwhelming yes to this invitation, and right here and right now, Spirit and me dance together. As I embrace every single aspect of my being, the light, the love, and the power that exists at the heart of my shadow come forth to be fully, beautifully embraced and expressed. From a foundation of pure love and grounded in complete gratitude, I surrender this word to love, to the law, and to the awe of life itself. And so it is.
My turn. Almost. Hold it for 3 seconds. 1, 2 seconds. Thank you. Come on, guys. Let's start off this week. Nice and strong here. Yeah? I'm living in love, living in peace, living my life. Lord, I believe the joys and the fears in this world I walk. God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. One more time. We are living in grace.
Hey, go forth and have a wonderful week. Amen.